Max Gates. I'm with Chrysler Communications, and I work on regulatory affairs issues, which means safety and the environment.
Max, every time I see you, we talk about what is new at Chrysler with all your environmental affairs, what you're doing with hybrids, PZEVs, everything else. Give us a rundown of what you've got that's going on right now.
Okay, well, we've got a full range of programs. At Chrysler, we're of the feeling that there's no silver bullet, there's no single answer to the issue of reducing our dependence on oil, reducing our impact on the environment, and essentially building a more secure energy source for the United States. Renewable fuels is an important part of that. We're still active, very active in the biodiesel area. We brought out our second diesel SUV this year, the Grand Cherokee. Still early in the sales experience with that, but interest is very strong. We see consumer interest in diesel technology growing, continuing to grow in the United States, so we're very positive about diesels.
Have you seen a change in the perception of diesel in the United States?
Yes. The Diesel Technology Forum, which is based in Washington, has been doing some regular surveying. There was also a recent survey by J.D. Power, which showed that the interest in diesel continues to grow in the United States, starting to approach the interest in hybrid technology. We have a real educational challenge with diesel, particularly on the passenger vehicle side. Americans aren't used to diesel passenger vehicles. Some may still remember some of the mixed experiences from the 1980s. Some may think of diesel only as the smoky, noisy kinds of engines that they see on heavy trucks and commercial transportation, city buses. But the influx of new technology into diesel over the last 15 years has produced remarkable results in terms
and the cleaning of the diesel fuel.
That's right. The ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel, which came into the marketplace just about a year ago now, is enabling us to do lots of things with the vehicles in terms of technology to clean up the emissions. So we're going to see a lot of continued progress over the next 10 years or so with diesel, and we're hoping that that will continue to interest Americans in this technology.
So let's switch over to hybrids, because you have the two-mode hybrid coming out.
Right. The hybrid field, I think, is going to get very busy in the next couple of years. We have our first two vehicles coming out, the Dodge Durango SUV and the Chrysler version, the Aspen, will both have a hybrid technology on it. That will be paired with a Hemi engine. So you'll get the multiple displacement system with the Hemi, which shuts down half the cylinders, 4 of the 8 cylinders when they're not needed, more at cruising speeds. Plus you've got the hybridization, so you'll get a kind of double bump in terms of the fuel economy in that vehicle. So we're looking at maybe 25% better fuel economy with no loss in power, performance, and all the other things that SUV owners want to have.
Now, I think the best kept secret in the auto industry is PZEV, partial zero emission vehicle. That actually, if you're in the LA basin, you'll get better air coming out of your vehicle than if you when it goes in. Other companies already have PZEV. Do you have PZEV?
We do, actually. Starting the vehicles that are coming out, the Chrysler Sebring and the Dodge Avenger, two versions of our midsize sedans for the 08 model year, and they're already getting into the marketplace, are going to be PZEVs. About a third of the entire production of those vehicles will be sold into states that have the California rules. 8 states now, because we're adding 3 more this year.
Most people don't understand that the hybrid will help the CO2 emissions, but the other aspect of a hybrid is the PZEV, and that will clean up the air even when you're not running your car.
That's right. We're talking really about 2 different sets of emissions. One are the emissions that come out of the tailpipe that affect the quality of the air that we breathe every day, that create smog and do other things that we, that are not, that can have health effects in the long run. And the PZEV addresses those kinds of emissions directly. The other issue is the greenhouse gas, climate change, CO2 issue, carbon dioxide issue, and that relates to how much fuel do you actually burn in your vehicle. So we address that through fuel economy. So we've got a couple of environmental challenges which we are continuing to address, and I think that we're going to continue to see progress over the next several years on this front.
Any new news on the fuel cell for you guys?
No. This is really the longer range answer to some of our issues, and again, fuel cells are not the total answer. They have great potential to contribute to much less impact on the environment from the automobile in the future. but they're not going to be the single sole answer. I don't think there's any single answer that anybody's going to be able to point to. But we're looking at 10, 15 years before we start to see fuel cell vehicles in the marketplace in significant numbers, and they'll be phased in like any new technology. We may see them in fleets and more defined route kinds of applications initially, simply because of the fueling issues, but they will certainly make a contribution. I'd like to point out that as part of Daimler Chrysler, which we continue to be for a few more days anyway, we've got about 100 fuel cell vehicles on the road around the country, so we've got a lot of experience with in-use fuel cell technology, from the small passenger vehicle, the so-called F-Cell or A-Class Mercedes vehicle, up to large city buses. So we learned a lot. We continue to learn a lot. We've got some technological challenges, but I think everybody thinks that fuel cells will be a major contributor to the environmental challenges of our industry in the future.
Max, you always let us get a real candid view of what is going on in your industry inside of Chrysler. We appreciate you sitting down with us again today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay.